Hi, this is Michelle Caskey from Homeschool-Your-Boys.com. Writing is one of those subjects that can be really difficult to teach. Some of our kids struggle with writing. Some of them actually hate to pick up a pencil. From a very young age, I knew that my boys did not enjoy writing things down. They would narrate back to me amazing stories. And I would be their scribe, and I would write things down for them, and then they would color a picture. But when they got a little bit older, and it came to writing sentences and writing paragraphs and all those other dastardly things, they really fought me on writing. And at first, the issue that they were having was a little bit of dysgraphia, and I have written a blog post about dysgraphia and overcoming dysgraphia with some resources that Diane Kraft has available on her website, and I will link to those in the description below. But once we got past that, my boys were still reluctant to do their writing assignments, and part of the reason why is because they didn't know what to write, and I didn't know how to tell them what to write. So one of the keys to making writing a successful time in your homeschool is to choose a program that will work well for your individual children and for yourself. And we've actually found a program that works really well for us, and it is called WriteShop. See it there. WriteShop 1-2 is specifically designed for middle school and high school kids, and that works out really well. So let me show you a little bit more about the program. As you'll see, as you're looking at the teacher's manual, each lesson is very descriptive. There are materials that are listed out, anything that you would need to have in order to teach that lesson. Then there are pre-writing activities, and sometimes those include things such as games or group activities, things that you can do together, and those have been a lot of fun. Then the students work on a practice paragraph together, and the way my boys and I have done that is I actually have a huge whiteboard that is at the front of our classroom, and we brainstorm together, and I write things down on part of that board, and then we actually write out our paragraph together. And as you'll see here, this is an example of a paragraph that we recently wrote together about Yoda. So then the student goes ahead and does their own brainstorming and makes their own sloppy copy and their first revision. Then you do some editing, and you don't have to do that. The cool part is you don't have to do that on your own. There actually is a checklist that you use in order to edit your children's work. That's huge. That's super helpful. And then the student makes their final draft, and then you grade their work. So this WriteShop program has been super helpful for us. Not only does it make my boys less reluctant writers, but it also helps me to know what should I be focusing on for each lesson, what should I have them write about, and it doesn't just take the lesson and throw it at the child and expect them to come up with something, but it's very interactive, and it allows me to work with my boys and for them to work together and for us to come up with some awesome collaborations. And then once they're equipped with the knowledge for that lesson, then they're able to go off on their own, and they're able to come up with their own writing projects. So anyway, this WriteShop 1, WriteShop 2 manual has been an amazing addition to our homeschool. And if you are having some struggles with teaching writing, either yourself or if your children are reluctant about it, then I would recommend that you give the WriteShop products a try. They also have things for younger students, although I haven't used those personally because we were using other programs when my boys were younger. So anyway, I have written about teaching writing in the homeschool environment several different blog posts about that, and I will link to those in the description below. If you're interested in more information, go ahead and check those out. And then I would ask you to please subscribe to this channel. That is super helpful to me. And if you know anyone else who is struggling with teaching homeschool writing, I would love to have you forward this video to them. Anyway, again, this is Michelle Caskey from Homeschool Your Boys, and I hope you have a wonderful day.